Shalom, this is Yehudit from Sfat, now in Berkeley, California. Want to share with you the movements I do for the 10th day of the 40 days of challenge and centering, which I count between the 19th of Tammuz and the 29th of Av. Today, the 10th day, is at the top of the Tree of Life that we've been climbing for the last 10 days. And we started at Malchut of the Yud. I use the name Adonai spelled backwards for the basis of my counting 4 times the 10 sefirot. I go up the ladder once, and then I come down on the Nun, up on the Dalet, and down on the Aleph to help myself have flexibility with each situation. Now on Keter, we're at Keter of the Yud. It's amazing to me as I'm doing this video, because I've had 2 attempts so far, and something's interrupted each one. The beginning of the centered Yud and the beginning of a Kamatz for Keter are exactly the same. There is a Kamatz, a hidden Kamatz within the centered Yud, which I find fascinating, and because there is a similarity in what they're about. The Kamatz is a place of isness. The crown is being here now, just totally in the present, in the isness of existence, because all mental constructs of future and past are not as real as the isness of the moment. And the Yud is also in some ways about the isness of the moment, because it's, as I do it for the centered Yud, it's the poking a hole into the infinite. It's being able to come back up and then point into the infinite, and then a sense of receiving back from that infinite. So it's that point of breakthrough. And we think of it that way when we're writing, because every Hebrew letter starts with a Yud, starts with the point, the dot. And so it's a breakthrough into the verbal, it's a breakthrough into manifestation. And Keter likewise is pre-manifestation. It's the place of the unity of just being is, the eternal is. And it's a place where you can kind of maybe get a moment's insight into, but you don't live there. We work with mental constructs and words and actions, but it's very important to be able to tap into that place of Keter. So that's what we're into today, and the colors I'm trying to represent somewhat reminders of yellow and green, because the pathway of the Yud is between Netzach and Tiferet. Green in the rainbow system, Netzach is yellow, and the white scarf with some yellow in it as Keter. Keter is kind of blinding light, beyond color, really. So let's begin with the showing you again. The Yud is back to back, bending the knees slightly out, pointing, opening, and coming in. And then the Kamatz is stepping to the side, and hands again back to back, and there's like a Kamatz here. And then the Kamatz that I think of the most is this Kamatz in front of your face, so there's no ego, no presence really, just open to the experience itself, and then an ah. So it's coming up, flipping, and then ah. And just now, watching myself in the film, I noticed that the centered Yud, though I keep my feet together for the centered Yud, is coming up, and there's the Kamatz there. And then the Yud makes this point and opens up and comes into oneself. Very interesting. So let's do it. Let's starting from Malchut, going up, ascending up the Tree of Life with a combining the Yud with the Kamatz at each stage. I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see the full breath. So we're going to start with Malchut to the left, after the Yud. So centered Yud, and then to the left side for Malchut, Kamatz, Yah, and close. Then to the right for Yesod, Yud first. Yah. And to the left for Hod, after the Yud. Netzach to the right, after the Yud. This time I'm going to stay on the right for Tiferet. And move to the left after the Yud in Gevurah. Right for Hesed, loving kindness. Left for Bina, understanding. Right for Chachma, wisdom of holistic insight. Underlying oneness, Yud first. Final Yud for Keter, and then to the left. And then the breath, letting Hashem breathe me as I bring the energy all the way down through my crown, from Keter all the way through all the sefirot in my body, back down to my feet, being breathed at every moment, conscious of Hashem breathing me, and the sacredness and the specialness of each moment in time, the isness, may we be tapped into the beauty and revelations of the isness, the breakthrough points in our reality, and gratitude for all those breakthrough points of being alive now, here, within this plane of existence and all the other planes. So bless us all on this 10th day of the 40 days of challenge and centering.